Okay, let's wrap it up for July the 29th, 2014. We had another good day. We came in on the E-mini this morning, and we thought resistance was 80 to 85, so we had a 79 to 81 sell, then an 84 to 86. We thought support was 65 to 70, and we have a low of 67 and a quarter so far. So we had we caught both sides of the market about as well as they could be caught. The context of today's trading was range bound, long-term upward bias, but couldn't break it out or break it down due to tomorrow's news. So we got a higher high and a higher low, so we can buy into weakness and we can sell failure to take out the day's highs. So tomorrow is news, and the news will get a quick reaction. I think the most important piece of news tomorrow comes out of GDP, and then the market will go on hold for the FOMC, where there's nothing is supposed to change. They're going to cut $15 billion from their support of the market. That is expected, and interest rates will be the same. So the GDP number, the bears, those that are reading and taking into account the recent economic reports, have a 1 to 1.5. The ones that are touting the Fed line and everybody else's line are 3% plus or minus. And if you think about it, if we get 3% plus or minus, the first quarter cancels that out. If we get 3% growth for the last half of the year, you're talking about a 1.5, 1.7 growth rate for the year. So, and I'm all for growth. I don't want to see us not get these numbers. I'd rather see more growth than less. There's just too many people out of work right now. Economy needs its job. So ADP comes early in the morning. They're looking for 215, followed by GDP at 8:30 Eastern, and then the FOMC tomorrow afternoon. Okay, looking at the F2 screen. The have a double distribution down, but when it's all said and done, it's a pretty square distribution. It's kind of like not quite a D, but it's leaning D. So we're looking for a new move to come out of the 73 area, kind of right in the middle. Support is 65, 67. I think that represents, if we don't crash this afternoon, I think that's a great buy one level. Then our 60, 62, where we were 2 days ago, or on the first of the week. If we count today as complete, it would have been yesterday. And then closing in the 73 area, the top of it, so we'll make 77 to 80, selling failure to take out 77 to 80. Is the trade for Globex. I don't think we'll get a lot higher than that. That's it for the E-mini. On the note today, we did pretty well on the note too. Our major markets, because you have a lot more data to utilize, are a bit easier to call. The gold and crude are extreme go-with markets, and the euro, that market starts in London. and that does make a difference. So we have ourselves an outside day. We have several factors tomorrow. So the first thing is going to be ADP, looking for 215. That would be supportive of an economy growing strength. GDP, right now the consensus is about 3%. The deflator, no one will pay any attention to because the Fed is not raising interest rates fighting inflation. We'll adjust these numbers in the morning. Got crude inventories. No one will pay any attention to that. Then FOMC. And that's basically a big unchanged, a big U. So right now we have a strong P. The bias is to the upside. It's pretty easy to sell failure, not to take out resistance. Okay, looking at today's action, it's definitely a P. Volume is above time. So the trade, again, I don't think they can break it out because of tomorrow's numbers. So selling failure to take out 14, 17 and a half is the trade. We have a strong market, so I'd like to buy it closer to 5, but that's really been, when I wanted to buy 5s, I haven't been able to get them. I've had to pay up. So we'll make it 5 to 9, and then 1s are better. But we have a lot of news tomorrow, and the news will impact the market. Then we'll get back to the 7-year. And because of the 7-year, the bottom's not going to fall out of the market, and they are going to have to rally it at some point in the day, unless the news is just really, really bad. Okay, we'll take a look at the 30-year, and we'll talk about the knob spread. The knob spread is widened. This is the first time we've come in to an auction with the knob spread as rallied from the previous auction. And again, it shows the commitment of the long-term money to the long side of the market. And the bond or financial players they read fundamentals better than the equity players do. And they're saying a softening economy. The yield curve is flat. The knob spread just gets wider and wider and wider, and there's world events that are supporting that. And so the long-term money in the bond market is interest rates the same or lower. Okay, here we are at 139 this morning. Our number 2 resistance area, actually our number 3 was 39.04. We didn't quite get to it. So selling failure to take out 39.03 to 08 is the trade. On the buy side, last rotate stopped at 26 and 25. Then the auction took place at 18, so 21, 25 will be buy 1, and buy 2 will be 13 to 17. And we started today with the knob spread at 14. Yesterday's close was at 5, and the knob spread went out at 17.5. And on Monday, yeah, 5 to 7's been as cheap as you could buy it. Last week on Friday's close, it was at basically at 13. So we've had to pay up to get into the knob spread. Okay, gold got whacked. Our 85 to 90 is probably the best support that we have for it. It is selling. We possibly have a new move to the downside, a mom. Or moom if you get technical on me. So, didn't see a large entity come in and really whack or blast the market today, or wasn't reported as such. So we still have this attractor way down here at 28. If we close it below 93, this area right here, structurally that's where we're headed. So we possibly have a mom right here. Now, I think the world situation is such is that it's really hard to get short in a big way gold, because you're one headline away from a rally. So that's what's balancing us right here. The selling that took us off of 1340 came from a central bank. That started in Asia. And we've had 3 bouts of large central bank selling, which has taken gold down. So this attractor down at 94, and then our 85, 87. So we're at 1306. We had the low 95, 97. We've got a break right here at 1302. So 3 to 5 will be sell 1. And then 10 to 12 will be sell 2. And on our buy side, I'm going to make it 95, 97, give it a little bit of room. And then 90 plus or minus 1. I think there's one short left in it. We'll see how London plays. And if they start to sell it in London, I'd get on short. Okay, crude oil finished up pretty weak today. And I think we're headed for stops below 100. We certainly aren't getting there in a hurry. President Obama was supposed to have a statement, comments on the Ukraine. I know Kerry has left the Middle East and headed to the Ukraine, but I don't know what he said or plans on saying. I know the press leaks out that he's pleased that Europe has sanctioned Russia further, and that these sanctions are going to really hurt Russia, and that remains to be seen. So 101 and a quarter, 101.50 is resistance. That's sell 1, and sell 2 is going to be 75 to the buck. 25 to 50 is buy 1, and then stops below 100. 75 to 100 will be buy 2. I think we're headed for below 100, so without a major piece of news, I like the short side best. And last but not least, the euro. You know I love the short side in the euro. We went back and we looked at F1 on the last update, and their support at 134, then 133.50 to 65, then 133 even. And so we'll play for that. I know that the European Central Bank and the EU ministers would like a lower euro because of the weakening economic conditions they face in Europe right now. I mean, if you really want to see the outcome of all of our over government regulation and high taxes and socialism, democratic socialism, look at Europe, and you've got very, very low growth. You have high unemployment. And I think we're trying our damnedest to bring that to the United States, and we're probably going to succeed. I mean, most people, including myself, really like the fat, dumb, and happy stage. And most people will not move unless forced to move. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. So Europe is where we're headed unless we change something. I mean, most people are going to vote for more money, especially if it comes from somebody else. So we have a B pattern. We're headed lower. Last rotate up was 25. We're at 11, so we'll make 20 to 30. Sell one. And we may not get much action overnight because of tomorrow's FOMC. And then I'm going to make 90 to the buck, buy one. And then 75 plus or minus for buy two. And that's all I have for July the 29th, 2014. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see you bright and early in the morning, 6:45 a.m. Central Time. In the meantime, enjoy yourselves. I'm out of here.